What is going on, everybody? My name is Miles, aka the Political Introvert. Thank you guys for joining. Wanted to do a discussion piece today. Should political parties be banned in the U.S.? And before I get to that, I just wanted to thank everyone for liking and subscribing to my very first video on here. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the new subscribers. My goal is to go for the channels to have some pieces that we talk about political. I want to talk about political issues, the candidates, um, the things that are happening in politics. Want to try to keep it a positive environment as much as possible. I know there's a lot of toxicity going on, but we want to try to keep this a free space as much as possible. So you know if you have if you like to comment, and definitely if you like something in the video, please like and share, and definitely love the feedback. Hopefully my goal is to try to definitely bring more quality content to you guys. Now, just full disclosure, I'm not not an experienced journalist. Again, I'm just a guy, a political junkie, let's say that. Very introverted, wanted to come on to discuss politics. I don't have a lot of people to discuss it with, so hopefully you guys like the content that I bring you. So, having said that, wanted to come on talk about should the political parties be banned in the U.S. I came across this topic because there's a lot of the reason why I wanted to discuss this is because there's a lot of just a lot of shenanigans going on in the government, not just for not just today, but just in the past let's say decades. Let's go with that. When it comes to gridlock in our United States government, and it's particularly because we have two major parties that pretty much have trouble working together. Well, let me say that working together if it's good for the people. If it's something that they both agree on that they'll probably get good benefits from the special lobbyists, then they'll pass it equivalently. But when it's good for the people, they tend not to agree with each other, or at least that they're pretending to. The thing about parties is they have a lot of power and influence. Being myself as a black man who and again, I'm not saying this for all black people, but many of us grew up as being affiliated with the Democratic Party. Like we were told that Democrats are good, they help black people. We should stick up for them. And if you're like a Republican, and that's not good. They're against black people. They're racist. Blah 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 blah. Again, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm alluding towards, but that's just the perception though. Up until recently, I've been growing up thinking that Democrats are great. I just vote straight Democrat. I know a lot of I know some people who I was my family and some of my friends who grew up would just vote straight Democrat because that's what we were told to do. But having said that, it didn't really hit me until probably midway through the Obama administration, where I started seeing some things that weren't consistent with what Barack Obama was doing. And then when it really hit me, when Bernie Sanders was running for the Democratic nomination, and all the horrible things that happened in 2016 with voter purging, and it was just a whole mess. So that really opened my eyes to who the Democratic Party really is. But I didn't want to make another speech about that video. That's another different subject. I'll say that for a little bit later. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the parties today have not only too much power, they can't get along, and they dominate our airspace, which is creating a toxic environment. It's us against them. Republican versus Democrat. Oh, you're not a progressive. Oh, you're not this. You're not that. And what would be the implications if we were to do away with it? Just say, forget political parties. Let's just all be, people for once, right? I was going on this great website where it's called debate.org, debate.org, I believe, and I'm gonna put the link down below. Saw some good arguments. For those who don't know, debate.com, you have a bunch of opinions on there, and people pick some topics, and they argue the questions asked, and people argue whether like for example, should parents spank their kids? You can vote yes or no, and give your piece why. And I was looking up should the U.S. ban political parties, and a lot of his stuff, they brought up some good points. One person was saying that, on the side of we shouldn't ban political parties because they do good. Helps get people more noticed, because again, the truth is, it's a lot to do a campaign. With the volunteering, the canvassing, not the volunteering, excuse me, getting volunteers, and the canvassing, raising money, spreading the word. It's a lot, especially if you go national. So maybe local's a little bit easier. It's perceived to be a little easier, but when you go national, like a Senate race, Jesus, it's a lot. They do good. And then another argument was that they kind of minimize, they kind of make people's choice easier, because the Democrats are supposedly stand for environment issue. They're good on environment, good on race issues. They're good with reining in Wall Street, and at least that's what is perceived. But the Republicans are for the free market, and less government control, and just people making, people having more power, pretty much. And of course, in theory, that's what it's supposed to be. Of course, it's not true, but the point I was going to make, yes. So those two things will get people. They're supposed to perceive to give people a better choice. So, because the truth is, there's a lot of issues that if you didn't have the parties, then it'll be overwhelming, though. But on the flip side, when the argument was made about we should ban political parties, is because they have too much power, and it's always gridlock, and nothing can get done, because because if one party's in control, then they want it their way, or that's it, and the minority party doesn't have a lot of voice. And also the fact that the political parties control are owned pretty much. So for example, if the Democrats are in power, well, I'll give you an actual real life example. So we had the healthcare debate, for those who don't remember, in 2009 when President Obama was elected. And we were talking about this for over a year. That's what we got this signature Obamacare. But what you don't know is that there were a lot of lobbyists who had their seat at the table. We had single payer I remember single payer being off the table completely. And then I remember that the House and President Obama were trying to pass a public option, but that was stripped away. And what's left is we got a bill that was called the Obamacare, or Affordable Care Act, that was originally created by the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative group. And basically it has all the bill does some good, but it was more favors towards the insurance companies, because it was mandated that everyone get insurance, but it failed to have any price controls. So a lot of people, yes, they can get insurance, but some people couldn't afford it despite the government subsidies. But that's just a recent example, though. So basically, the insurance companies have gotten their way because the Democrats were, walking in step, and of course the Republicans would not vote for it no matter what. So we could have got like a single payer system. The Republicans would say, they wouldn't support it anyway, and it's all because of party affiliation, which is silly. And the thing about it is, at the end of the day, we're all human. Yes, we have the Republican, Democrat, but we're human, and especially in this time right now, because we have so many crises going on, particularly with climate change, and how we had so many hot days. I think they said it was like 5 years straight of record hot days, the most record hot days in a year, and that's not a good sign, though. And then some people say it's normal. They'll, it'll go back to the way what? No. There's something really wrong with that. If it's consistently record breaking hot days, I don't think we've seen this before. And again, it's just too much because we believe in this ideals. Democrats believe this, Republicans believe in that. And yes, there is, and don't get me wrong, there is corporate influence, though. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that we can't have a proper conversation about it, though. So to make a long story short, should political powers be banned? I would say, in my personal opinion, no. But I would say that they need to be their power needs to be extremely, we need to get the reins in pretty much. And what I mean is like, for example, we have the Democratic debates coming up, and the media is making a big circus about this, and a lot of the parties have some influence on the media, which like they were doing a lottery draw the other week, and they're talking about like it's like a celebrity death match or some craziness like that, and instead of focusing on the issues, we're focused about who's gonna knock which politician out first, and who's gonna rise up on top, instead of, hey, let's get some interesting issues going on there, though. So and we tend to forget about we focus when it's a party that's being elected, like if it's if the Republicans were doing a primary, we'd be focused on that instead of focusing on real people, real issues, though. So excuse me. Instead of that, instead of the media actually, hosting debates, we maybe should be like an independent organization. I believe that's how it used to be before, and then I guess it changed recently. I got to do more research on that, but it should be hosted by an organization that has no say. They just want the American people to know, like a C-SPAN or something that's non-profit, so that way nobody, I know a lot of people want entertainment, but these are times where we need serious candidates. We want to hear serious ideas from all retrospects. So now's not the time for any gridlock, though. So, but at the same time, because there's a lot of issues going on, the reason why we should keep the parties, at least for now, is because we just want it's just a lot for people to observe, and a lot enough people are into politics. So people are just gonna it's overwhelmed, and a lot of people could just jump into the race. And again, it's not to say that it's not a bad thing, because this is a democracy. We live in America. You can do that's that's the signature pieces of our country, is that we have freedom of speech. So people should have the right to jump into our democracy, and that's great. We need more participation. The problem is that we're at a time where if there's too many candidates, especially in the Democrat Party, I don't know, some of the candidates who they even are, though, because, I never heard of them before. It gets overwhelming for the American people. So, having those two parties try to minimize it down, is a good thing. Having said that, they need to be reined in, though. Someone else should be hosting their debates. The campaign schedule, because the DNC, they control which is going to be open primaries or closed primaries, which for example, like a person was bringing up a point on that debate.com, is that everything needs to be open primaries, though. Open, anybody can vote, and that's because is that when you put a closed primary, you're restricting the people's right to vote. If people want to switch their affiliation, they can. And that is the part of democracy. Yeah, well, it may benefit one side or the other, but that's not the point. It's a democracy, not an oligarchy, a democracy. So people want to participate, it's their right, and we should not be restricting that that right for people, no matter if we agree or disagree with them. So that's just something to keep in mind. So hopefully that will come in the future, but. Right now we don't have that copy system, but hey, it doesn't have to always be like that. So there's some things going on that more parties coming up, and hopefully that would change. But nothing's gonna work unless we start getting involved and trying to make our voices heard, though. So and that is my opinion piece. So if you again, if you like the content, and actually before I do that, what do you guys think, though? So definitely would love your feedback. So please leave a comment below. If you like the content, please consider liking the video, sharing it, and becoming a subscriber. And again, I'm all up for suggestions. So if you could send me some suggestions, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you got something out of this. And I will leave the link down below to debate.com. So please check that out. It's very, very interesting. So you might learn something new. So this is Miles, the political introvert, signing off. I'm going to do some more videos today. So I will check you guys back later. Take care.